Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Random Reviews. For those of you that have been observing the channel closely, I am reviewing Adam Green's Hatchet II, which is the sequel to the Hatchet series, first produced by Adam Green in 2006. This is the 2010 sequel. As I said, for those of you who have been paying close attention to the channel, you may have noticed that I have previously uploaded this video, but due to technical difficulties, I had to delete it because I had a number of repeat uploads that I accidentally submitted to the channel, and it created a backlog. And just to get rid of the backlog, I ended up deleting my review of Hatchet and also my first episode review of Brickleberry, which I will need to record. So that explains that. As for my promise of reviewing Rob Zombie's Halloween series, I will endeavor to watch Halloween either this evening or tomorrow and upload the review for films 1 and 2, or at least the first one, tomorrow. So at the time, even though it will be recorded on October 31st, even though it will come out on November 1st, it will be recorded on Halloween night or Halloween day. For those of you who care about consistency and themed videos actually being on time, which I personally do, and I apologize for the mess up in the schedule. A quick side note, Tamara Fieldman, who previously portrayed Mary Beth, does not return for this film. Instead, she is replaced in the lead role by Danielle Harris. To those keen slasher fans like myself, Danielle Harris had previously portrayed Jamie Lloyd in one of the Halloween spin-off series, specifically Halloween's 4 and 5. She portrays Jamie Lloyd, who unfortunately did not return for the sequel to that trilogy within the Halloween continuity, The Curse of Michael Myers. She was portrayed by another actress whose name escapes me currently. And she also portrayed, spoiler warning, Annie Beckett, Laurie Strode's best friend in the Halloween Rob Zombie remake series. So she has certainly made her mark as far as the slasher genre is concerned. And she also, to those of you who have also seen my Wild Thornberrys review, provides the voice for Debbie Thornberry. As you can tell, I'm a bit of a nerd, and I'm very observant when it comes to people's voices and voice actors, because I admire voice actors, and also I admire people who can be very diverse, be it in a kid's show one moment and a horror/slasher movie, no pun intended, the next. I digress. The scene opens immediately. Of course, I should say, disclaimer, excuse me, that there will be spoilers ahead. So if you do not wish to be spoiled, please watch the movie for yourself. Otherwise, if you don't mind being spoiled, please come on along this ride to Honey Island Swamp with me. The scene immediately opens, picking up immediately from where the first Hatchet movie went off, where Mary Beth was grabbed by Victor Crowley. Ben is lying seemingly dead in the boat, although some clever camera work does not reveal Ben in this movie at all. So his fate is unknown. All we do know about him is that he has had his left arm ripped off at this point. Mary Beth manages to escape by gouging Victor Crowley in the eye, resulting in both of them falling into the water. Mary Beth is saved by Jack Cracker, who unfortunately, and I apologize again, was a character appearing in a minor role in the first Hatchet film, portraying the function of Crazy Ralph, warning the swamp goers, the toolboat goers, not to approach Honey Island Swamp due to the legend of Victor Crowley. However, he was promptly ignored, and everyone just waved goodbye to him and went on the boat. This is after they disembarked the bus. And Sean tells them that Jack Cracker is considered mad and someone who drinks his own urine. However, this is proven to be false, as Jack rescues Mary Beth and provides her with a warm drink, blanket, and asks her what happened. Mary Beth explains that everyone on the toolboat is dead and that Victor Crowley is real and alive, and she is the only survivor. Upon inquiring about her last name, which we now know is Dunstan, Jack freaks out and orders Mary Beth, practically at gunpoint, to leave and not return, stating that he is aware of Victor Crowley's existence, but Victor, seemingly having an understanding with Jack, leaves him be, as he does not interfere in any of his business. Nervously, Mary Beth leaves and departs on the route Jack suggested to safety. We next see Jack going through the previous night's possessions, having obtained Doug Shapiro's video camera. There we see some rather disturbing videos, including one where Doug Shapiro tries to hit on a 14-year-old girl, and we also see Misty and Jenna again auditioning for Bayou Beavers, although it is clear at this point that the two do not like each other, so it is nice to see them again. However, the fun is interrupted when Victor Crowley suddenly appears, attacks Jack from behind, disarming him. Jack had grabbed a shotgun, the same one he threatened Mary Beth with, and he is literally strangled to death with his own intestines. The opening title sequence then plays, revealing the grisly after effects of the Victor Crowley's murder spree the night before. Mary Beth is then seen walking along the sidewalk, where the aftermath of Mardi Gras is also shown, people vomiting along the sidewalk and sleeping off the night's events. Victor then enters Reverend Zombie's shop, just as Ben attempted to the previous day. However, like Ben, she is turned away until Mary Beth insists on seeing him. A mild cameo appearance is then shown on the news where a girl, Parker O'Neill, reveals to a news reporter that she was terrified of being stuck up in a lift and will never go skiing again. A ski lift, that is. This is, of course, a reference to another Adam Green film, Frozen, which was made in 2010, starring the lead character, Parker O'Neill, who was portrayed by Emma Bell. That's a nice Easter egg there for those who have seen that film. I personally have seen most of it, and I liked it for my part. And that also stars Kane Hodder, who also portrays Victor Crowley, and also has previously portrayed Jason Voorhees. On that note, another horror icon making his return, in addition to Robert Englund, who portrayed Mary Beth's father, who we now learn his name was Samson Dunstan, also portrayed the legendary iconic slasher film villain Freddy Krueger. Although he does not appear in this film, he merely appears in the first film. I apologize if I did not mention that earlier in my Hatchet 2006 review. Moving on, Mary Beth repeats her story and states that Sean, the tour guide, was an idiot who got everyone stuck, and resulting in the deaths of everyone aboard the tour boat. Zombie, seemingly being only concerned with the tour boat, as Sean had worked for him previously, is determined to get the boat back, and agrees to take Mary Beth back into the swamp on the condition that she brings a friend, or at least a family member. Prior to that, Victor Crowley's backstory is established. Mary Beth's tale of Victor Crowley's unfortunate demise on Halloween night, being struck in the face with an axe by his father, was true. However, the story of his birth was not explained until now. Victor Crowley's father had an affair with the nurse who took care of his wife. The nurse's name was Cheyenne, a beautiful, attractive woman who took care of his ailing wife, Lena, who was dying of stomach cancer. I apologize in advance if it turns out these names are for the wrong people and they need to be swapped around. I am literally going off my memory right now. I don't have a script in front of me. I work off my memory, as a side note. Anyway, I apologize. Upon Cheyenne's passing, prior to her passing, she places a curse on Cheyenne's child, along with Thomas Crowley, resulting on Victor Crowley being deformed with numerous skin diseases and deformities. It is said that the swamp literally wept that day, and resulting in the deaths of many birds and other animals. Lena dies later that day from childbirth. It is said that she died the second she laid her eyes on her son. However, Thomas Crowley grew to love his son Victor and to treat him as an equal. Unfortunately, instead of trying to protect his son by hiding him from the outside world, it is revealed that Thomas was trying to protect his infidelity and cover up his misdeeds by hiding his son away from the world. Then that unfortunate night on Halloween occurred, where Victor was killed, resulting in him becoming what is known as a repeater, having his spirit trapped in the night that he was killed, resulting in his emotional state being that of a frightened child who wants nothing more than to return to his father, and being angry and petrified, willing to kill anyone whom he comes across in his desperate search for his daddy. It is also revealed that one of the 3 children responsible for Victor Crowley's death was indeed Mary Beth's father, Samson Dunstan, result explaining why Jack Cracker reacted the way he did upon learning Mary Beth's last name. Mary Beth, however, states that she had no idea of her father's involvement in Victor's death, to which Zombie sympathizes with her loss, but insists again that she is lucky to be alive and should forget about Victor or retrieving her family's remains, as Mary Beth insists on doing. However, Mary Beth refuses, repeating her statement that she just wishes to collect her family's remains and go home, but also affirming that should she come across Victor Crowley, she has no problem fighting and killing him once and for all. Sean then assembles a party of hunters with the aid of Sean's brother, portrayed by Perry Sean, who also portrayed Sean in the first Hatchet film. Justin, like his brother, has a bit of a humorous streak to him, and is revealed to be Zombie's assistant, although he's dismissed by many of the other hunting parties as a bit of an idiot, like his brother. Meanwhile, prior to this meeting of hunters, we are introduced to Mary Beth's Uncle Bob, who dismisses Zombie, real name Clive Washington, as a fraud and charlatan who should not be trusted. Mary Beth insists that it was Zombie's idea for her to bring Uncle Bob along for the trip to hunt Crowley and retrieve her family's remains, to which Bob reluctantly agrees to. However, Mary Beth states that she wishes to be alone just for a few hours before going to the authorities, as Uncle Bob suggests, promising her uncle that she will not return to Zombie's place of residence. A promise which is immediately broken in the next scene. However, Uncle Bob, being a good uncle that he is, agrees to accompany Mary Beth on the trip, so long as she listens to what he has to say. At the meeting, Zombie wheedles out all the cowards and the gullible by telling them the legend of Victor Crowley. Upon the majority leaving only a few scattered hunters, among them Vera, her ex-boyfriend, whose name escapes me, Vernon, a man who tries to crack onto Mary Beth when they're on the boat later in the film, but is unsuccessful, Cletus and Chad, Cletus owns his own motorboat, accompanying the team, and Zombie's friend Trent, whom Zombie has a particular interest in accompanying them. Zombie agrees to give each member of the hunting party $500 for retrieving the boat, making it seem as though the hunting trip is merely a precautionary measure and the real goal is to retrieve the boat. However, he also offers a $5,000 reward for the head of Victor Crowley should they encounter the monster. They eventually make it to Honey Island Swamp and promptly split into groups as to better cover more ground separately, much to Mary Beth's objections, as she believes that there is strength in numbers in sticking together. One by one, the hunters are killed. Vernon and a man who does not speak, both being bisected together with a chainsaw. Vera and her ex-partner dying together. Her ex-boyfriend having his head chopped off while he is having anal sex with her, and her dying when his axe is shoved up her bottom in a very gruesome manner. Cletus is also killed with a belt sander while on the boat attempting to escape. It is then revealed to Justin through Zombie that his plan is actually to lure Crowley out by using Trent and Maribeth's uncle as bait, as he believes that those two were the last two people who were there that night Crowley was murdered, thus sacrificing them and reopening Holly Island Swamp to the public and enabling him to continue his swamp tour business. Justin relays this information to Maribeth, who also confirms to Justin that Sean is indeed dead, stating that she didn't tell Justin the truth, as she told Zombie what was going on and believed that Zombie would pass on the information to Justin, which Zombie did not do, having kept Justin in the dark. Justin reveals to Maribeth the truth of Zombie's plans. Maribeth abandons Justin, leaving him to hide in a closet while she rushes to warn her uncle of the trap that Zombie has set. Unfortunately for Justin, he is killed by Crowley, who then engages in a vicious brawl with Trent, resulting in Trent having his head literally kicked off his shoulders, and then kills Uncle Bob. Although Uncle Bob's death is not seen, a copious amount of blood is shown. Maribeth, meanwhile, attempts to fight Victor Crowley, but is thrown against the wall. In her dazed state, is dragged to safety by a zombie, who locks Uncle Bob in the shed where Maribeth and Uncle Bob had gone to retrieve her father's and brother's remains, although they are not found, much to her dismay. Upon being locked in the shed, as previously stated, Uncle Bob is killed. Maribeth laments the fact that Zombie is a murderer, stating that he is responsible for all the deaths of the hunting party, not Victor Crowley. Zombie refuses this, stating that he merely was in the right place at the right time, being able to survive the monster that was Crowley, and now that Crowley has had his revenge, will be no more, thus opening Honey Island Swamp once again, stating that he is a hero who has saved Maribeth's life. Unfortunately, Maribeth states that Zombie has gotten a fact wrong. Her Uncle Bob is revealed not to be Maribeth's legitimate uncle, but rather her daddy's best friend, whom she merely called uncle, her real uncle having died of leukemia when she was 12 years old. Victor Crowley suddenly appears and fights Zombie. Zombie nearly succeeds in strangling Victor Crowley to death. However, Victor Crowley uses his hatchet to chop off Zombie's arm and literally rip him from his skin and snap his spine and throw him against the tree, thus dismembering him in the most brutal way possible. Taking advantage of the distracted Crowley, Maribeth suddenly attacks Crowley viciously with her hatchet, chopping him into pieces. However, Victor Crowley's hand slowly begins to move, thus resulting in Maribeth grabbing a shotgun that was previously Justin's weapon and shooting him before she proclaims "fuck you," thus ending the film with a literal shotgun blast. Well, that was my review of Adam Green's Hatchet II, the sequel to 2006's Hatchet. As a sequel, which so often does, has a hard time living up to the original, because you have to not only expand on the story, but also if you introduce new lore, you have to incorporate that into the original continuity. Something that I think this film does very well. Danielle Harris also does a very good job of portraying Maribeth, her grief and anger at Victor Crowley, but also does not lose any of her likability, as she still cares about the fates of innocent people, even if they are strangers to her, and she does not wish to make friends with people, merely wishing to still retrieve her family's remains and get revenge on Crowley. She does not sacrifice her moral compass in her pursuit of revenge against Crowley. And as a whole, so far, Hatchet II is my favorite film in the Hatchet foursome series. This film was preceded by Hatchet III, The Return of Victor Crowley, and later Hatchet IV, Victor Crowley. produced in 2018. I will endeavour to review Hatchet III eventually. Well, thank you for sticking with me for this long review, and for those of you who did see my original upload of this video, thank you for sticking with this new version. I will endeavour to be more patient in the future and wait for all my videos to be uploaded before doing multiple uploads, as I think that is what caused the technical mess up last time. As I said, I will endeavour to get Halloween, at least the 2007 version, up by November 1st at the latest, so I'll be recording that tomorrow. If I don't get to recording Halloween 2, I will definitely do so on Monday. So that should be up on Tuesday, November 2nd. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this video if you enjoyed the content. Leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions for something for me to review. Until then, I'm your host, Daniel, with Random Ramblings. This has been another random review. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe. And as always, if you want to be cool, stay cool. Goodbye for now.